Hello and welcome to our Reflection and Reward Assembly on the theme of empathy. And this week we're going to be using a book, The Jar of Happiness, and then we're going to talk about it in assembly, but it's also a book that you can use for your PSHE lessons this week. So, we're still thinking about our character education and we're focusing on the key character virtue, empathy, understanding how people feel and being able to feel what they are feeling. Now we're going to listen to a story first of all, and after that we're going to be thinking about a few questions. The Jar of Happiness by Ailsa Burroughs. Once there was a little girl called Meg who invented her own kind of happiness. It tasted of chocolate ice cream, apple juice and sunshine, and it smelled of warm biscuits and the seaside. It was red and yellow and all of the other best colours. Meg took it everywhere with her. She took it to her friend Zoe, who was feeling a little glum. It cheered up Omar, who was feeling a bit poorly. Meg shared it with Leon too, although only when he was being nice to her. One morning, Meg could not find her jar of happiness. She looked and looked and looked and looked, but she couldn't find the jar anywhere. Where could it be? And how was she going to be happy without it? Meg visited Zoe, who showed her how to make happiness out of smiles. She visited Omar, who gave her a bit of happiness made from hugs and tickles. And Leon explained how thinking happy thoughts can scare away gloomy feelings, bad smells, and even monsters. By the end of the day, Meg still hadn't found her jar. But she'd found plenty of happiness. The end. So Meg invented her own kind of happiness. What did it taste of? For her, happiness was the taste of chocolate ice cream, apple juice and sunshine. What would your happiness taste of? And it might be that you discuss that with your family or your friends at home, or just reflect on your own. For me, the taste of apple pie and custard, because that always reminds me of my nan and reminds me of having lovely family Sunday dinners together. She also thought about what happiness smelt of. So her happiness smelt of warm cookies and ocean. What would your happiness smell of? For me, the smell of suntan lotion and chlorine always reminds me of holidays, or the smell of salty fish and chips. What colour was Meg's happiness? Now, she had red and yellow and all the other best colours. What colour would your happiness be? What colours would you choose to show happiness? Now, she had to think as well about how she could create happiness if she didn't have her little jar. So, you might think about how you can make other people happy. Smiling is one way of sharing happiness. Hugs and tickles is another way of sharing happiness. And just cheering people up, doing silly dances, jokes, trying to make someone happy when they're feeling down to help them get rid of their gloomy feelings. So, I want you, for your PSHE lesson this week, and it may be that your teacher set it for Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. You can always do it sooner if you wish, but discuss what makes you happy, what smells, what tastes. Do your parents have the same ideas about what makes them happy? have a good discussion, and we start to think about what makes us happy this week. Now, when you come back to school, Mrs. Ellis would like you to make your own jar of happiness with objects or pictures. You may like to put things in the jar, or you may like to draw what goes in the jar. You'll also be creating a class jar of happiness. So every class is going to get one of these, and you'll be adding lots of positive, happy statements to put in there. There are some examples on here, but if you look online, you will find lots and lots of examples. There might even be positive quotes that you want to put. But we are all going to add these positive statements to the jar. And when we need a pick-me-up, we'll be able to pick one out and use. So it's a good way of us thinking about what makes us happy, how we can make other people happy, and sharing that when we come back. Mrs. Ellis would like you to write, find, and make some statements for your class jar, just like this, so we can pop them in the jar when you bring them back on the 8th of March. You will be making a jar of happiness when you come back, but if you want to have a go at making your own one, using a real jar that you've got at home and adding little objects, or drawing one, then you can have a go at doing that as part of your PSHE lesson this week. Reflect on what makes you happy and have a go at making that jar or drawing the jar. But if you don't get the chance, don't worry, we'll be doing the jar when we come back. Even if you go to your happy place and talk about what makes you happy in the park, in the garden, that will be enough to help you reflect on what happiness is. Now, the other thing we'd like you to do this week and this month is be a little bit more active. As the weather's getting nicer, the chance for us to go outside is increasing, but we also need to build up our stamina. If we haven't been as active, if we haven't been playing in the playground as much, if we haven't been walking up and down the corridors as much, we need to build up our stamina so we're ready for when we come back on the 8th of March, and if we build it up throughout. So I've got a little active calendar on here. There's different challenges for you to do each day, bronze, silver and gold. If you don't want to do these challenges, that's okay, but think about another kind of activity you could do to make sure that you are active every single day and help build up your stamina and your fitness as well. This week, for Values Cup, we're going to be focusing on resilience. Last week, before we're all back in school on the 8th of March, so we really need to work on trying to build up our resilience in learning, but also our stamina and our resilience when we're being physical. So that's what we're going to be looking for this week. Now, I know some of you like to listen to the music. If you want to fit in with happiness, we'll be sharing for Pharrell Williams' Happy. So again, have a listen to that. You might want to listen to it every day, but think about how you're going to be happy this week.